everybody, and welcome to this special on Mercury transiting retrograde in Leo and Cancer. So this year, Mercury entered Leo on the 19th of July, and then today, on the 5th of August at 4:56 a.m, Mercury's going retrograde. Then on the 22nd of August at 1:08 a.m, Mercury enters Cancer while still in retrograde. Then on the 28th of August, Mercury goes direct in Cancer and stays in Cancer until the 4th of September. However, because of the post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde energy and all the aspects that I mentioned today, and when I talk about the yard and Sabin degrees, are going to affect us collectively. So yeah, this energy is going to affect us right up until the 11th of September. It started to affect us from the 16th of July. Mercury leaves the retrograde zone at 9 degrees by 10 degrees Leo on the 11th of September. So yeah, we're just going to have to be super careful, or just, be aware that Mercury's energy is lingering right up until then. So yeah, so Mercury retrograde is a period when Mercury appears to be moving backwards in its orbit from our perspective on Earth, but in reality it's actually just kind of turning back on itself, going side to side. But still, in astrology, it has an impact on us collectively. So in astrology, micro retro that's like kind of my cool kid name for Mercury retrograde, but hey ho, let's move on. So yeah, it influences communication, technology and travel, and we may experience misunderstandings in conversations, delays in emails or messages being received, and just glitches with technology, in general. But being someone who was born when Mercury was retrograde, actually, hence my off-key communication sometimes, Mercury retrograde is like, I love it here when it's retro. It's when it's direct the majority of the time when things are a bit crazy for me. So yeah, for some of you, you may find that important details are lost in translation at work, and this can lead to confusion and potential mistakes in projects. And by the way, my name's Amani. I never introduced myself. I have to remember to do this, but I'm your holistic karmic astrologer. And yeah, thanks to everyone who listens to me. If you do like my content, remember to like and share. And yeah, I'm gonna get on with it. So yeah, we can also have travel disruptions and flight cancellations and delays, and we can just also encounter difficulties even with any sort of travel, so it's best to plan extra time for communication and travel due to last minute changes in schedules or unexpected road closures when driving, or just any other events that can happen. Mercury retrograde is seen as a time for reflection and re-evaluation. Rather than starting new things, it's advisable to double check any important documents, anything to do with like your house or your car or any other assets, and also to double check contracts before signing them to avoid misunderstandings or legal issues later on. So for example, someone may decide to launch a new marketing campaign only to realise later that there was a crucial oversight in the strategy that could have been avoided with more of a thorough review, really researching, checking the details, the competitor analysis and stuff like that. So just make sure that you really don't ignore the small details as well as the bigger picture. Yes, look at the bigger picture, but in every bigger picture there's always a smaller one. So yeah, the reflective energy of Mercury retrograde encourages us to review our communication style and reconsider our approach to technology and travel plans. And financial matters also can sort of like have an impact, because of course, it rules or third house else everyday matters and everyday spending and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it may not be the best time to make major financial decisions or sign new contracts, as there is a higher risk of errors or oversights. So for instance, you could experience payment delays, encounter issues with online transactions, or face challenges in budgeting effectively, or just, overspend because you just think, I don't care. So by embracing this period as a time for reflection and adjustment, changing what needs to be changed, you can navigate, the potential pitfalls and use this energy to, really reflect on the things you need to review, to gain greater awareness and mindfulness. So now I'm just going to talk about what Mercury Retrograde in Leo and Cancer means for us. So yeah, as I said, this year on the 5th of August, Mercury goes retrograde in Cancer in Leo. So we may find ourselves more open to reflect on our creative expression, the way we present ourselves, the way we may, you may draw, design, write code, write books, whatever it is. You may think, how can I, use my creativity in more efficient ways? How can I use it to heal my emotions, because Cancer's involved here? Or, to, update my appearance or the way I talk or something like that. Leo's a very dramatic energy, so people may become more dramatic in their communication as well. So ultimately, it's a time to revisit projects that allow you to shine and showcase your unique talents. So maybe you've got a project, I'm talking to myself here, it's gotten a bit messy, maybe, you've written too much words and you're just like, oh my gosh, where am I going to start? Yeah, I'm still talking about me here. So yeah, and you just think, I just don't want to start, it's going to be too much. This is the time to start. This is the time to really say, hey, I'm going to use this energy of Mercury retrograde to go back to an old passion project, whether it's a painting, a song, or a code, or a computer game you may have been making, or anything else you was designing, or anything like that. We have to also be mindful of ego clashes that can happen, and drama, as I said earlier, in communication as well, and just be mindful of coming across overly proud or seeking excessive attention from outside people right now. We may also have misunderstandings with our colleagues or friends due to miscommunication or just lack of humility, not being humble, being a show-off, being like, I'm the best, I've got all the swag, doing too much and all of that. So yeah, Mercury, as I said, also moves into Cancer on the 22nd of August, still in retrograde. So this transition, we may find ourselves revisiting past emotional wounds, and we can use it to work through unresolved family issues, and we may find ourselves, just reminiscing about past relationships or childhood memories, and getting nostalgic, maybe thinking we want to go back to the past. And it's up to you, just think carefully. Sometimes the past is the past for the reason, in my experience as well. But we can also become moody, temperamental, be overwhelmed, be clingy and needy as well, wanting people to maybe communicate more often, and this can, lead to conflicts in relationships. So it's important to practice self-care and nurturing and open communication to reduce the tension as well. People can find themselves being easily triggered by family dynamics, or because there can just be, we've all got a bit of family secrets or drama in the closet, and this can all come spilling out. Or people can just be extra sentimental and not clearly communicate their needs for maybe more family time or friendship time or lover time, so just try and read between the subtle cues, but also be direct and state your needs as much as you can. And people may, instead of speaking it verbally, may speak it in some other way, their needs in other ways at this time as well, maybe using genius ideas to get things across or whatever as well. So yeah, just by being aware of the negatives, we can get through Mercury retrograde with more grace and understanding and more empathy for ourselves and others. Remember to stay grounded, practice patience and open communication, and embrace this opportunity for personal growth and self-reflection. And your self-reflection can help you uncover hidden talents, heal emotional wounds, deepen your relationships with others, find solutions to your problems, trust in the process, and allow yourself to explore new avenues of creativity and introspection by allowing yourself to go within, and work with the energy of Cancer and Leo. That just wants you to rethink the way you may express yourself in, sort of like dramatically, and, the impact it may have on others. And this doesn't mean, change yourself or anything like that. Just thinking about the more eccentric side of your extroverted side of your personality and how you present that. And if you're normally more introverted, thinking about why you're not extroverted, and maybe, introvert. As an introvert myself, we can be extroverted in company of people that we connect with. So maybe, thinking about how you can become more extroverted in, people, in front of people you can trust if you're more extroverted. Now, on the karmic level, Mercury in Leo and Cancer brings karmic lessons related to our communication, creativity and emotional expression. Past life memories connected to our self-confidence or unresolved emotional conflicts can come to the surface. And when Mercury's in Leo, we may find ourselves confronting karma tied to ego-driven communication and seeking validation from others, and this could manifest as misunderstandings or conflicts in our relationships during this time. When Mercury moves into Cancer, past life memories linked to our family dynamics, childhood experiences or nurturing relationships can come to, the surface, and we may need to revisit and heal emotional wounds related to our sense of security and belonging. What does security mean to you? A lot of us get security from other people, and this is great, but I find as we age we should try and get more of our internal security within, so that we can weather life storms, whether people come or go. And of course this doesn't mean don't, love, lead the way, but make sure it is always love and not lust or toxicity or, just two or more people coming together in pain, trying to escape their pain, so it looks like love, but it's really just two people numbing themselves to reality. So just make sure that you think about what love is and how you communicate love, especially because Mercury's energy is all about communication, and reflect on your communication needs and emotions and how you meet the communication needs of other people, and how you assert your communication boundaries and how you respect other people's communication boundaries. And do you have communication boundaries? Researching it if you don't, and thinking about, maybe you may want to implement these into your life as well. So just nurturing your emotional well-being, especially when it comes to the way you think and communicate. And by being aware of the karma, we can just navigate Mercury retrograde in Leo and Cancer with more self-awareness, which is always good. So now I'm just going to talk more in depth about Mercury retrograde in general, and then I'm going to talk about the aspects that Mercury makes when it goes retrograde. So on a worldly materialistic level, we might experience delays in our communication and have misunderstandings and financial transactions. So it's important to, as I said, check the smaller details, especially when buying large items and exchanging large sums of money, or sending and receiving important communication as well. For example, business negotiations can get prolonged due to miscommunication, and this can result in financial or other resource loss, such as time, for both or all parties involved. politically. It can bring about changes and challenges in diplomatic relations and decision making. So countries may struggle to reach agreements or experience disruptions in international communication channels. So, for instance, a peace treaty negotiation between two nations might face setbacks due to conflicting interpretations of key points. So, again, as we can see, details is the key word, checking of the details from Mercury Retrograde. So, on the spiritual, esoteric level, Mercury Retrograde offers us opportunities for inner growth through self-reflection, as I said, and doing shadow work. Looking into our weaknesses, our self-destructive thoughts and habits, questioning ourselves onto why we do them without judgment, thinking about solutions to get help and manage our self-destruction and toxic ways of relating to ourselves and others. We are encouraged to really reflect on our emotions and communication patterns, and it brings up unresolved issues from our past, pushing us into deep introspection so we can receive healing, looking for solutions by research, listening to podcasts, searching online, in books, to help you, solve your problems. On the emotional sort of level, we can find ourselves more sensitive to words and actions of others, and this can add to the misunderstandings and emotional conflict. So it's important to think before we say and do things right now, and to be patient. As I said, try and foster healthy non-violent communication. If you don't know what that is, Google. It's a man called Marshall Rosenberg. I can never say his name correctly, but it's really a good tool, and it's helped me. So it's all about becoming clear in our communication and thinking how we can become better thinkers and talkers, in essence, when Mercury is in retrograde. So now I'm going to talk about the aspects that Mercury makes this year as it goes into retrograde. So Mercury makes a conjunction with Venus, so it can increase our communication skills and help us, reduce the conflict in relationships right now, which is really good. We can find it easier to express our feelings to others and have more meaningful conversations about love with our intimate partners or with our friends or family or whatever. But negatively, we can become indecisive, too sentimental, and we can struggle to see things objectively, taking everything personally or looking at them subjectively from our own perspectives only, and we can prioritize emotions over logic in certain situations. And this could be a good thing, because sometimes we do have to be sentimental, especially if you want to show those you care about how you feel, but just watch out for, reacting emotionally when you need to use logic, and Mercury kind of governs logic along with Libra and Aquarius as well. But the best use of Mercury's conjunction to Venus is to work on your verbal expression and writing and creative projects and aesthetics in general. So how you put things across, how you write, how you create content, whatever. And some of you, this could include writing love letters, composing poetry, discussing art and beauty with loved ones as well. Use this energy to connect on a deeper emotional level with others, and this can just help you build stronger bonds and just have a greater appreciation for the arts, for creativity, especially creative communication. Mercury also makes a biquintal to Pluto, so this is a nice sort of energy, and it can increase our mental focus, making us be able to think and digest, taking information more intensely and quickly, and to work on transforming how we think as well. So someone can experience a breakthrough in psychotherapy sessions and dig deep into research projects that uncover hidden truths. So it's about going deep. This energy supports us with going within and working with our, psyche. But negatively, we can become obsessive in our thoughts and talking right now, and there can be power struggles in communication. So you may feel pushed to control conversations and dive deeply into complex subjects, and this can lead to misunderstandings or conflicts with others. So it's important to be mindful of our power dynamics in our interactions and strive for open, honest communication to avoid any potential challenges. And Mercury also makes a trine to the midhaven, so our 10th house. We may align our communication abilities and our career expression may align seamlessly. We can really do well with our communication at work right now. Some of you may receive recognition for writing or your speaking skills or getting your ideas across to authority figures, but negatively an excessive focus on work related communication may lead to you neglecting your personal relationships and burning out due to doing too much work, communicating too much. So it's important to find a balance between professional projects and personal relationships right now, making sure you're nurturing your intimate connections and the relationship that I believe each person should be having with themselves throughout their life to nurture their overall well-being on the psychological, emotional and spiritual level, so we can find fulfillment in all areas of our life. Remember to prioritize self-care and to set boundaries to maintain a balance between your career goals and your interpersonal relationships. So at the time of Mercury going retrograde on the 5th of August, there's also a yard which involves Pluto in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces and Venus in Leo with a 33% orb tightness. So a yod in astrology, it's really rare, they don't happen often, and they happen when two planets are sextile, so forming a 60-degree angle to each other, and both of these planets are in conjunct, making a 150-degree angle to a third planet. So the positives of a transiting yod is that it increases our self-awareness and awareness of the world around us, our sense of purpose and identity and destiny, and gives us opportunity for growth and transformation. It allows us to see things from different perspectives and cut things from different angles to get deeper insight into our situations and problems. And the sense of purpose or destiny associated with yod energy can lead us to making significant breakthroughs and accomplishments. For example, someone may suddenly feel compelled to start their own business, which will ultimately become successful at this time if you're prepared to, yes, you guessed it, research and go over the small details, competitor analysis, how you're going to make money from this idea, how you're going to fund yourself when there's downturn in customers and revenue, how you're going to offer more products, looking at it from all angles, and how you're going to think of the routine that you need to incorporate into your life and look after your psychological, emotional, physical health, so you can look after your financial health, and you're using your spiritual needs to kind of govern all of these, So yeah, this yard is this Mercury retrograde is really powerful actually, especially if you're willing to push yourself to go through the challenges you need to live your best life and become your best self or your favourite self. So yeah, so some of you may find yourself starting a spiritual journey during a yod transit, and this can lead to really great growth. But negatively, we can have feelings of pressure, confusion and challenges in decision making. And this pressure, you feeling this pressure can come from the sense of urgency or importance attached to the outcome of events. So just make sure that you try and stay grounded, and because the confusion can come from the different multiple paths and choices, options, and this can make it difficult to determine the right things to do and the right words to say. And the challenges that we face in our decision making can come from conflicting desires, and in the conflict, so the external world may need us to go to work on a particular day, but our inner conflict may need us to have stay in bed and deal with our emotions. So just navigating all of that. as I said, the yard at the time of Mercury retrograde between Pluto, Neptune and Venus. Pluto in Capricorn brings transformative energy to structures and routines and our responsibilities. Neptune in Pisces adds a dreamy and intuitive touch, and Venus in Leo brings warmth and creativity. So when they come together in a yard, it's a powerful energy, and you may find that you may shift your focus towards transforming how you communicate your emotions, which is represented by Cancer energy, and express yourself creatively, which is represented by Leo. So this energy amplifies, that creative urge that I was talking about earlier. For example, someone may experience a deeper awareness of their subconscious patterns in communication during this time. Perhaps you may feel pushed to express your creativity in a new way, or explore different modes of self-expression, how you talk, how you communicate. Maybe you communicate aggressively, and subconsciously it may come to you the reason for this. Maybe you was ridiculed for the way that you talked as a child, and maybe you're just automatically defensive when anyone criticizes what you perceive as them criticizing the way that you communicate and stuff. So just really get into the bottom of your creativity trauma, and working through them. And this energy really increases the vibrations of transformation, us being more intuitive, in tune with ourselves and the world around us, creativity, and just being reflective, and us re-evaluating how we communicate and express ourselves. So yeah, it's all about questioning the ways that we think, the way that we talk. Why do we believe in the things that we believe in? Digging deep into our subconscious realms and our thought patterns, working with all the different sides of our personality traits, our strengths and weaknesses, and our creative potential, to discover a fresh perspective, at least in one area. Some of you may decide to overhaul your whole life, and for some of you, you may say, what, I'm going to stop thinking this one thing, and it's all worthy, because I'm all about all of us just changing at least one habit, so we can help the collective consciousness uprise and just become better human beings. And I'm hoping by so doing that, the world can become a better place. So anyway, I'm going to talk about the Sabin degree that Mercury's in when it goes into retrograde this year. So it's in the 10th degree of Leo, and this rules the jugular vein in the human body, and this has the Sabian symbology of early morning dew. So positively, the 10th degree of Leo adds to the sense of freshness and renewal in our thinking processes. It can inspire us to approach old problems from a new perspective, which is really good. Really focusing on solving lingering, hard problems that we have been finding it hard to solve for a while. And maybe it's because we need to let go of a thought pattern or behaviour pattern or person in our life or certain lifestyle, in order to meet these goals. Or maybe we need to go back to school to upgrade our skills, or university as we call it in the UK. And yeah, the jugular vein, the 10th degree ruling that, it brings attention to our vulnerability and potential health issues related to stress and communication. So it's important for us to take extra care with our physical health right now and our emotional state, doing all we can to nurture those and understand, heal and forgive ourselves and others when need be, because life, we all make mistakes. And yeah, if I could do my whole life again, there are a few things I might change, but I never can. So it's best to get our head around, because we can never change the past. The best we can do is live with it and believe in better days by actually creating better days. So the jugular veins, it carries blood to the brain, and it goes all through the veins go through our circulatory system. But yeah, the jugular vein, it plays a key role in getting blood to our brain, and our mind is where we think, so we need to look after our brain health, so reducing stress in the healthy ways. And I know it can be hard getting to sleep on time, drinking more water, getting a bit more vitamin D, either by spending time outdoors or taking supplements, eating more nourishing foods. So psychologically, it puts a spotlight on our 10th house, so our career, and it wants us to work on communicating more effectively with our co-workers, with our managers and other authority figures, and staff in our workplace, whether they be cleaning staff, it's staff that you may see as beneath you, learning to be kinder and respectful to them, if not, and seeing how they are key in the whole picture rather than just seeing them as like insignificant. And if you work in that role, seeing yourself as some, a significant part rather than just thinking, oh, I'm just a cleaner, I'm just a cook, So also it brings our attention to the ways we may struggle with articulating our thoughts and feelings clearly, or feeling misunderstood by our colleagues or superiors, and this can add to the frustration and lack of confidence you may feel about your own abilities at this time. So I believe that we always have to upgrade our skills, because for instance, I've got a psychology degree and I keep on updating my knowledge on it, because obviously I did that a while ago. We always have to upgrade, so it reminds us of others may criticise you and they may be right in terms of, and you may have to upgrade your skills, but not to feel wrong about that, because that's what life is all about. We're meant to be always learning and upgrading, and we have been lured into this lie that we can always know anything. We can never know, because we see technology, AI, it's changing all the time. Knowledge is always upgraded. So when we use Mercury wants us, that's why it's a rapid energy. Mercury moves a lot in astrology. It moves, apart from like the moon, it moves the most, kind of, so we have to really tap into Mercury retrograde to think about our thought patterns. So also, from a health perspective, the jugular veins reminds us to take care of our heart health, our cardiovascular health, so doing exercise and finding the right exercise for you. Some of us, our exercise is running, and some of us it's yoga and Tai Chi and Pilates, and those gentle movements that can burn, if not more calories than running, and more gentle on our bones, So just not trying to compete with others in, your health and looking after your health, but just finding the right things for you, and just paying attention to any signs of strain or stress in your jugular vein area or your brain or anything like that, and just looking after your head and breathing health, and maybe doing breathwork meditation as well. On an esoteric level, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and this represents emotions, and it brings nurturing energy, and it allows us to be more intuitive and take more of a sensitive approach to communication, as I said earlier. So we may find ourselves revisiting conversations or matters related to family dynamics, so our inner emotional landscape, our inner world, just talking about maybe traumas we haven't dealt with. And as we get adult age, we can think, oh, we don't need to deal with that past, but I totally believe unless we deal with the past deals with us, and typically by our subconscious thoughts that leads to our self-destructive habits and accepting toxicity and doing toxicity in our lives. So by taking time out to self-reflect and digging deep into our subconscious mind, we can uncover hidden truths and unresolved issues that need healing. Also, the 10th degree of Leo also reminds us of the interconnectedness between our physical, mental and energetic spiritual aspects of our being, and how we need to look after them, emphasizing the importance of holistic well-being and how imbalance in any one area of our life can affect other areas of our life. And how important it is to, over our lifetime, to try and build daily habits and to live our life. It's so much more easier, for instance, to try and do a little bit of exercise every day than to say, I'm just going to run once a week, any day when I want, and not have a set routine. And some days you may do exercise for 5 minutes, and some days it may be 2 hours, but if you do something every day, you're building that habit, even if it's just a minute of meditation, you know. So it's about reflecting and thinking about what you can do rather than what you cannot do, and looking at maybe where you can make time as well. It reminds us to take a fresh approach to communication, like the essence of the dew at dawn. And as we navigate through this period, it's important to be gentle with ourselves and others, and remember that it's a time for deep healing and understanding, because emotions can run high, and you know, this can unnerve ourselves and others. But if we're willing to go there to self-reflect, we can get profound solutions to our problems and insights from our inner world, from our own thought processes. Trust in your intuition to lead towards revolutions and growth. And as you dig into your subconscious mind, be open to receiving messages from your higher self or spirit guides, and pay attention to dreams, synchronicities and inner nudges that can provide valuable guidance during this, you know, introspective, reflective phase. So now I'm going to talk about the karmic meanings, karmic lessons, and what type of past life memories may come up during this time. Mercury Retrograde brings a focus on unresolved issues from the past that need attention and healing. So karmic meanings can manifest as repetitive patterns or themes that keep surfacing in your life. So if you have been, for example, struggling with communication issues, Mercury Retrograde may bring situations that force you to confront and address these challenges. So anything you've been avoiding could just really keep on happening, and you may keep on ignoring, and a lot of the time we can get lost in our distractions or using intoxicating substances or toxic relationships to numb ourselves. But it's best to be open to the karmic lessons so you can learn and grow from them. And it really gives you, because it wants us to reflect, to think, it gives us the opportunity to get to the root causes of our karmic patterns, you know, where these things originated from. Was it our childhood or something like that? So, for instance, if you have a tendency to avoid difficult conversations due to fear of conflict, fear of what would happen if you spoken your truth, if you talk the truth, you know, a lot of the time we avoid making difficult decisions and having them hard conversations because we don't want to face reality. However, it will present us with circumstances that encourages us to communicate openly and assertively. Whether we take them, as I said before, is up to us. But yeah, just remember that the past life memories and karmic lessons that come up right now are trying to serve as valuable lessons or reminders of unfinished business or areas of personal growth and spiritual growth that require your attention and resolution, you know. So now I'm just going to talk about how Mercury retrograde can affect our relationships. So in terms of our family relationships, there can be communication challenges because we can misunderstand or misinterpret what is meant by, you know, voice notes or text messages or any other form of communication, or even missing calls and stuff like that can lead to misunderstandings between family members right now. But positively, it can encourage more face-to-face interactions and improve bonding time with loved ones, because maybe, you know, it's like, oh, they've missed my call, something's up, and they go and visit you or something like that, you know. And yeah, they may have a bit of a panic, but it can just make someone see that someone else cares for them. And I'm not saying to do it on purpose, but yeah. So in friendships and co-workers, there can be disruptions due to miscommunications or delays in projects and deadlines. For example, relying on a friend at work for crucial information may be hindered, you know, stopped by technological problems at this time. So it's important to, you know, just watch out for that and not think, oh, this person's purposely trying to sabotage me, although this could be the case. But yeah, just be mindful that there can be other reasons for communication delays at this time, and it can be down to, you know, technology rather than the person trying to sabotage you and not doing their fair share of the teamwork. It can can also be an opportunity for deeper collaboration and problem solving with others as well. In terms of committed relationships, past issues may come to the surface, and this can cause tension in relationships. So, for instance, unresolved conflicts or unaddressed concerns can become more prominent now, but negatively, it allows couples to work on communication skills and address underlying issues, and this can strengthen their bond in the long run. In terms of casual hookup scenarios, miscommunications or mixed signals can lead to misunderstandings between individuals, and this can help us have clearer discussions about our intentions and expectations in our casual relationships, allowing us to set clear boundaries and intentions. This becomes really crucial at this time to avoid any confused or hurt feelings or just misinterpretations of what is meant by what is said, because of the mixed signals, as I said earlier. So in terms of hookups, it just serves as a time for everyone involved to be more honest and open with their communication moving forward. If you're single, it can help you have, more self-love, awareness, and be open to self-reflection and focus on your personal growth and gain clarity on what you truly want from a partner. And, it's good energy to work on your self-improvement without the distractions of new romantic interests, but negatively, you can experience miscommunications or encounters with, past flames, exits at this time, and this can lead to confusion and mixed signals in, sort of like, for example, someone may start a new relationship with someone else and be out with that person, and then there's an ex, and then the new person can see you talking to your ex, or, and this can cause problems and you can get confused. But as I said earlier, often the past is the past for a reason, so just be careful. So it's crucial for you to set boundaries and intentions to avoid misunderstandings and hurt feelings. Self-partnered people can deepen their relationship with themselves through self-care, self-awareness and love, but negatively, revisiting past wounds and feeling isolated due to increased introspection can just make you feel lonely and, as I said, isolated. This can lead to moments of vulnerability and self-doubt about yourself, partnership, and as you can experience many wobbles because people can be like, it's so stupid, like dating or being married to yourself. But I believe that we don't all need to be self-partnered and married, but I believe all people need to become their own best friends, knowing themselves inside out, not being afraid to call themselves out on their own bullcrap, and knowing their strengths and weaknesses. And our weaknesses are only weak because we hide and run from them, but when we learn to manage them, they become our biggest strength in my experience. So it's important for those in self-partnership to practice self-compassion and, seek support if needed to navigate your emotional currents, ups and downs effectively. So now I'm going to talk about how Mercury Retrograde affects our career, personal, spiritual and educational development. In terms of career development, it wants us to revisit old projects and ideas that were previously abandoned and find creative solutions and new opportunities for our progression. And so, for example, a marketing executive might find success by revisiting a previous campaign that they did before, and maybe it flopped before, and give it a new fresh kind of like twist, update it, and it may do well this time. But negatively, communication breakdowns in our professional lives and misunderstandings can lead to setbacks and delays in projects, resulting in missed deadlines or conflicts with our colleagues. So, for example, a sales presentation may be misunderstood by clients due to miscommunication, and this can cause, a potential the client leaving or missing an important sale or something like that. So just be careful, and if you do, try and win it back after retrograde. In terms of personal development, because it wants us to self-reflect, it wants us to reassess, rethink our our goals and priorities in our life to aid our personal growth. So, you may realise that certain relationships are no longer serving you and decide to let go of toxic connections, but negatively, you may experience increased emotions or mood swings, making it challenging to maintain clarity and focus. And this can lead to conflicts in personal relationships or feelings of being overwhelmed. So, for example, you may find yourself easily irritated by loved ones during this time. So just, try and take time out and do the things that helpfully, chill you out, and apologise, if you do lose it. In terms of spiritual development, it allows us to have a sort of spiritual renewal and deepen our connection to a higher consciousness or our higher self or our higher power, and we can just feel more in tune with our intuition and guided towards spiritual practices that resonate with you. And I mention this a lot on my on audio I do, but I know that some people have a hard time trusting their intuition, because when we have self-doubt and unresolved psychological, spiritual and emotional traumas, it can be hard, and the small inner voice, the intuition, can actually be, the negative voice, and it can be hard to discern. So, if you are affected by that, just be gentle with yourself. Do all you can to slowly work through your traumas, and as you do that, your intuition, and you're trusting it, and you're trusting yourself. As you will know yourself more, and as you know yourself more, you get to know other people more and the world more, and life will become more easier for you. So, allow yourself to do meditations that can help bring more of a sense of peace and clarity on the things you may need to do to bring more peace into your life. And this can be by reducing your self-destructive habits and relationships. Negatively, doubts and confusion regarding your spiritual beliefs can just add to feelings of uncertainty and insecurity. So remember, it's important to take time to reflect on your beliefs and explore any doubts that come up, and allow yourself the opportunity to strengthen your faith and understanding. Yet keep in mind that paying attention to your spiritual development can serve as a guiding light during moments of tension with loved ones and obstacles that come up in life in general, and just managing your own inner world, your own emotions. It can get crazy in there, with all the wild thoughts and unprocessed trauma. So use this opportunity to reflect on your reactions and emotions. Allow yourself the space to understand the root causes of your irritability or any other frustration or any other emotion, and through self-awareness and introspection, you can uncover underlying patterns or unresolved issues that contribute to your toxic, or I don't want to call them more toxic, but automatic emotional responses that make you say the words and do actions that lead you to feel, I don't want to just say shame and guilt, but make you feel like, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said that, this is not me, I want to be this person. So just allowing it to help you discover yourself more, and this can lead to personal growth and improve relationships with those around you. And by approaching conflicts, and especially inner conflict, with a mindset of compassion and understanding and forgiveness, you can open the way for healing and deeper connections within yourself and in your relationships as well. In terms of educational development, students and educators may face challenges in communication and understanding. So there can be miscommunication and misinterpretation of information, or people can face difficulty in understanding new concepts and ideas, leading to academic setbacks. So, for example, someone may struggle to absorb their lessons effectively, or teachers may have a hard time getting information through to their students as well. But positively, on the flip side, it's a good and valuable opportunity for revisiting previous lessons and reinforcing knowledge, and thinking about new techniques, whether you use sticky notes all over the place and little record cards, and in our digital world, and I know we can do this on our laptops and tablets and stuff, but sometimes I think we underestimate the power of paper and stuff, and I know we have to save the environment, so maybe whiteboards, using those instead, writing down your ideas and thinking of ways. Some of us are visual learners, some of us learn by audio, some of us it's a combination of both. Just thinking about how you can learn the things that you need to learn and not giving up on yourself. Sometimes we forget things, sometimes other people can learn things quicker than us, suffering from dyslexia myself, I know how hard it can be. So just, learning to work with you and knowing that, once you figure out how you can learn things, you can learn things, anything you put your mind to. So use this time to review material, clarify doubts and approach learning from a different perspective, and this can help you have a deeper understanding of subjects and improve your academic performance in the long run. So now I'm going to finish up by talking about the best things for creatives, professionals, entrepreneurs, alternative healers, lovers, singles and self-partnered people to do when Mercury is transiting in retrograde. So for creatives, it's an excellent time to revisit old projects and infuse them with new perspectives. Professionals can use this period to refine their communication skills by carefully considering their words before speaking or sending emails, and this can prevent misunderstandings and misinterpretations at this time. And because we can all be sensitive, it's best to be prepared and to use forethought rather than deal with the fallout and stuff. Entrepreneurs can use this energy to rethink their business strategies and make the necessary changes they need to do to adapt and be flexible in the changing circumstances, which is always the business world. This could involve revisiting marketing plans or refining product offerings based on customer feedback. Online retailer might use this period to update their website layout for a more user-friendly experience. Alternative healers can focus on self-care practices and energy healing techniques to maintain their own well-being during this time. And a Vedic practitioner may spend extra time energizing and balancing their own chakras. Or a herbalist could explore new remedies to increase their holistic healing practices. Lovers can use this time to reflect on their emotional and psychological and spiritual dynamics within their relationship, the deeper things, engaging in open and honest conversations about past issues, working together to heal any lingering wounds to strengthen your bond, and planning romantic gestures or surprises can also help you bring the passion back during this self-reflective kind of energy. Singles can use this to actively seek a partner if the one, or just find joy in being creative and developing a stronger sense of self and self-worth and happiness and just being independent. And you can use creativity to work through your emotions, start new activities, hobbies, learn new skills, or practice self-care and love and forgiveness routines to nourish your mind, body and soul. And by investing in yourself and your well-being, you can build a solid foundation for your future based on self-love and confidence. Self-partnered people should use this time to do inner work and meditate and journal to gain clarity and understand their emotions and thought patterns, reflecting on past relationships and identifying patterns that can help you in your personal growth and healing. And just focus on self-care rituals and set boundaries to protect your energy, and just embrace solitude and reconnecting with oneself, yourself, on a deeper level can just bring about a deeper sense of inner contentment and awareness. So overall, when Mercury's in retrograde, it can bring difficulties in communication and being practical with our logical thinking and decision making. It also offers us a unique opportunity for personal growth and self-exploration. And although, communication breakdowns are common at this time, and this can lead to conflicts and misunderstandings, and, in order to get through this time, we may have to increase our sense of awareness and being flexible, being open to changing our opinions and listening to other people and doing the research and thinking and willing to change the way we think and talk over time. All changes don't need to come overnight. As you know, I believe it's a day-to-day lifetime process of, healing ourselves from the trauma, which is human life. But it allows us to dig into our emotions and communication patterns to, create, develop, foster healing and growth. Remember to practice patience, mindfulness and clear communication, as these are key in managing our emotional conflicts and exploring our inner world and, dealing with the misunderstandings that come up. So ultimately, to really use this energy effectively through this time when Mercury is in retrograde, is a time for self-improvement, self-reflection, self-love, forgiveness, reassessment, and this can lead to positive outcomes despite the challenges that, happens during this time. It wants us to slow down, listen to our inner voice, start removing or continue doing the work of removing all the doubts and fears and unresolved traumas and all the other voices and thought patterns that are toxic to us in our mind, paying attention to the subtle messages from the universe and from within ourselves, our higher selves. And while it may, stir up emotions unearth, past wounds that we may find hard to deal with, if we find that inner courage which is being provided for us via the aspects that are happening, it can be a really profound opportunity for us to heal and transform the things that we decide to work on. And like I said, for some of you it may be just one habit you decide to change at this time. For others it may be your whole life. It calls for a conscious effort to communicate clearly, be patient with others and practice empathy. So there's an emphasis there. Embracing, spiritual practices like meditation can help you develop a sense of calm, even when, in between all the chaos and madness around us. Deepening your connection to your higher consciousness, and by doing this you can find the strength to navigate the emotional waters or obsessive thoughts that come up during this time with greater understanding and compassion. And remember that challenges in communication and misunderstandings are opportunities for growth and learning. Stay open to the lessons that Mercury retrograde brings and trust in your ability to navigate whatever comes up with grace, wisdom and understanding. So thanks for listening to this very in-depth, if you made it all the way to the end, analysis of Mercury retrograde and all the things you should do. I like to look at things from every angle. As I said, my name is Amani and I am the voice behind these horoscopes. So you're karmic holistic astrologer. So take care and I will see you next time.